Hello, I'm Chris Gubber of Alien Rabbit, and this is going to be a vlog about City of the Damned, which is progressing well, albeit with some moments of frustration. So this is just going to be a general development vlog, probably the second, and then there'll be a final one once it's finished. So things that are working well, obviously, like just general branch development of the story in general. I've started obviously a lot more artwork integration. I managed to get a nice little batch script in the terminal which converts automatically the PNG files generated by Midjourney to JPEG automatically. Obviously I'm using a Linux computer, so it wouldn't be the same on a Windows or Mac computer, I guess. I don't know, maybe on Mac, I'm not sure. I don't really use Mac ever, not a fan. But I'll show you just a quick example of using that command and just basically how it works. In terms of the game itself, it's, like I said, it's progressing well. There's still probably about another 2 to 3 weeks of development time, basically working on it. Probably a month actually. So it's probably just be to, you know, you gotta, as an engineer or basically designing the whole thing, you've got to factor in that there might be more time for unexpected things you have to fix. One of those things that I've just realised just now is I want it so that at the end of the game, once you've finished everything, you get the stats page I've been working on a bit, but obviously the player's going to want to share that with other people. So just in the most simple way to do that would be to download a JPEG, generate a JPEG image of your statistics. I could probably look at another method of doing that so you could share it socially, but that would probably be a much tougher way to do it. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, because obviously, yeah. So I've been working a little bit on trying to integrate a script for integrate HTML to Canvas, which is just a library for capturing a specific div element and then just taking a screen grabbing it. Obviously that needs testing on mobile, but apart from that, it's, you know, sort of, it's going well, and it's been quite a busy month for Alien Rabbit, and I've also been trying to, you know, look for my own like contract work for my dev stuff. So, but I've been really putting in many hours, many late nights to try and get this thing into a state where I feel happier with it, which I am at now. But I do need to just keep on cracking away at it while I've got time, or before I actually start, you know, like traditional dev work in the JavaScript space when that happens. What else to say? A lot of the artworks, I'll show a few of the artworks I've been generating for the game now. So yeah, like but generally been working a lot more with Midjourney on the style of and trying to get it all cohesive. Some of the images I'm going to have to edit afterwards, because Midjourney's still not so great at generating hands, so I'm going to have to like spot those little discrepancies, maybe crop a few things. But having the batch script that actually just takes out it's like an automation, really helps a lot with not having to, you know, manually doing all that myself would be a nightmare. GitHub integration's quite well done now, like I'm pretty happy with that. I've just got it's all synchronized up to my own repository. It's just private, of course. But yeah, so that works quite nicely. So main things to do now are obviously bug fixing. Hopefully my mate's going to help me out with play testing and just, you know, general just like identifying bugs, because I'm trying to make it so that there's quite a lot of different variables for how you can play the game. You know, I'm trying to not introduce us too much of a superstructure, so there is a bit of refactoring going on as well, just like cutting features, you know, bit by bit, because feature creep is a thing that can happen in games where you just try and introduce too many features, and you nearly always in any game development you have to cut out certain features which are not really primary to the core game mechanic. So the core game mechanics in this game are essentially currently obviously combat, but exploration of personality. So those two things come into and psychology as well, actually. So it's obviously it's a game where your actions do have real consequences within the game. So there's a time-based factor. So if every action you take has takes off amount of time. So there's a rest feature which I've been working on as well for sleep, resting, and then the amount of days come into it. But yeah, there's a lot of basically like modifying I need to do in testing because it's quite, in some senses, that's quite a complicated thing. So yeah, I'm just going through the game itself and just trying to think which of these features are overkill, which of these features, because at the end of the day, whenever you develop a game, you have to finish it, and every game developer's been in a state where you over-engineer or overcomplicate the game feature list. So I'm basically going through the process. You can watch loads of live videos if you want to see me actually doing that in real time. Also, it's like hours and hours and hours of footage, so not particularly entertaining, just like me listening to music and occasionally looking like or like happy or joyful, basically, which is just game dev. So yeah, I think I'll leave the video vlog there. I think City of the Damned will probably be due for release. I'm going to say 2 months, just to be safe. Obviously, I need to get it Alien Rabbit set up on the Google Play Store and everything. Hopefully iOS as well. But yeah, that in itself takes quite a long time for prior experience. Like you're talking 2 weeks, and then I obviously have to do the actual bundling of the game so that it can run on a phone. Bundle it to an AB app, which isn't too hard, but it's a little annoying from previous experience because there's lots of different ways of doing it. I mean, essentially all I'm doing is bundling a bunch of HTML, JavaScript, and JavaScript, but well, this is JavaScript we're talking about, so well, if you're a JavaScript developer, you know that can occasionally be frustrating, but it won't be that hard, I don't think. Anyway, that's it for the City of the Damned vlog number 2. The first one you can watch if you like is on this channel also.